This is the XS650 Chopper, which you might have seen a video on. I'm going to go ahead and ride it home, maybe tinker with the carbs a little bit, replace the taillight bulb that vibrated because chopper. Check it out, we got the XS in here, working on it for a bit. Excuse the poor lighting, this is just door open, so we got all kinds of lighting going on here. But haven't really messed with this thing since, before winter. But anyway, right now I need to actually work on fixing the tail light. One of the filaments burnt out, so I don't actually have a running light. And I have to actually modify an 1157 dual filament bulb to fit within the single filament type housing. So I actually end up grinding off the upper nub on that and it fits. You see. Anyway, because it's a hardtail, it just these filament bulbs, they can vibrate and that spring collapses and then you just lose your light. So it's something you have to pay attention to. It's pretty common. And I know somewhere within the shop, in my totes, in the house, I had a LED version of an 1157 for another bike, and for the life of me I cannot find it. But that's going to be an update or an upgrade I hope to make soon, depending on how much I'm going to ride this thing, because that'd be pretty cool to just get an LED in there and they're a little bit more vibration resistant. So that'd be nice. But anyway, this is what we're doing today. Try to set up the camera and capture some of this. Figure it might be relevant. So yeah. Just have to take off this upper nub. Easy as that. So this taillight actually came from like an old fuel and oil delivery truck or something. I don't know if it's just like a marker light or something. But I got a whole stack of these things from some buddies of mine that work at said oil company, and I like it. And that's why I had to convert it to a dual filament, because this would have been, like I said, just a marker light or something. And we need, obviously, run and brake. So yeah, all I've done is just polish the ring. I left the back side of it, the actual housing, just kind of grungy. The original gray, kind of chipped up paint, whatever's on there. And works good. I dig it. Did a hidden mount, and then I've got the taillight wiring ran through the seat through some brake tubing and stuff. So it's just kind of like a neat little taillight floating in space. So with all things bikes, I like to do everything the right way, or the best that I can possibly do it. And part of that includes like making sure everything is greased and lubricated correctly. But let me show you an example of where I went wrong with that this one time. So on the XS, the kickstart is I actually greased within the fitting here, or within the pivot. And the issue I'm having is actually whenever I go to kickstart it, it comes back up like it folds back in, sometimes hits the bottom of the exhaust, and just makes for a really annoying time kickstarting it. So I'm actually going to go ahead and pull this thing off, disassemble it, or I'll probably just disassemble it here, remove all the grease I can so it has like kind of like a positive lock to it, and we'll go from there. But yeah, you try to do things the best you can, and sometimes you just go wrong, but you learn. So while I got this video playing, I don't know if you guys can hear this, but there's somebody in my neighborhood actually playing their harmonica. It's kind of weird, but kind of cool. See, copious amounts of grease. The issue is that this ball is in contact with too much grease, so it doesn't actually sit cleanly in that lock. The momentum of this thing can rotate it back out. So it should be a quick fix. Wipe up some of the grease. I would assume that would make all the difference. We'll see how that does. Can't be. So among other things, you know, for this bike running a little bit funky, has an off-idle stumble, still trying to sort out. It does foul plugs pretty easy, which would tend to be a sign for Rich, but that could also be my timing and everything like that. So I just want to, you know, I'm going to go ahead and try to clean these things up. Actually, all the carbs I do and ignition and stuff, I just made a basic block here, and you can put you can put a number of spark plugs in here and compare your cylinders to like before tune, after tune, that kind of thing. You can really dial in what you're working with, as each change makes a difference. And this is cold. There's no temperature in this. I've just been playing around. This is the second time I've ever tried putting spark plugs in this. I'll show you what they look like after 7 minutes. So I'm not real sure what went wrong here, but the audio was just garbage on this. But anyway, 7 minutes in the tank. I went ahead and pulled the plugs out, and then they were cleaner than they went in. They had a lot of carbon buildup on them, but as you can see, I mean, you can see a little bit of the porcelain, and you know, that was good enough. So I went ahead and I went and blew them off, and then just reinstalled them on the bike just to see any difference, because I did go ahead and I did find one spark plug lead actually loose, so the bike was running a little bit funky. But yeah, I just went ahead, blew them off, and then reinstalled them on the bike, and now we do a cold start.